more so an environment that does not stress the body. So physical ergonomics is more so applying different supports to prevent tissues from deteriorating or to promote less stress on the body. And what I demonstrate here is the applied force. When the applied force is greater than the tissue tolerance, and tissue tolerance is basically how much your body or your tissues, your muscles, tendons, ligaments can tolerate when that force is applied. When that force is greater than the tissue tolerance, that's when you're susceptible to injury or stress or discomfort. Here, when the tissue, like I said, stated, when the tissue tolerance is not of or at the strength to cope with the physical stresses of the actual, it could be the task, it could be the product, it could be just in general, if your body does not have the strength to cope with what's being absorbed from the actual environment, then you'll see changes in the body. So going back to the bunions or calluses on your hands, that is a physical change that's occurring because the tissues are exposed to stress. So the first image here, we have the applied force, and then we have the margin of safety, which is the tissue tolerance. Once that margin of safety is no longer available, then that tissue is exposed to injury. The next slide, the applied force, the tissue tolerance, eventually as we get older, or if that tissue, the body is not unable to meet the demands of that force, there's a gradual decline. And I would say in the second image, that gradual decline happens over time. So we may not feel it right away, but in months and years, you see as the applied force is applied over time, it eventually wears out the body or the tissues and tendons. And then in year 5 or year 10, that's when the injury occurs.